let's say the celebrity atheist types, because I actually like that phrase, they don't seem to me to be contending with the real issues. They seem to be going at Carl Jung, 20 books and maybe 15 seminars. He's a real issue. Like, there are some serious heavy hitters in the religious phenomenology domain.
Of the psychologists who've dealt with these problems, and there have been many, for me, Carl Jung says the most.
In your book, Decoding Jung's Metaphysics, you point out that since you were a teenager, Jung has had a big influence on your life. In fact, I think you suggest so large an influence that it may even be operating at the unconscious level.
I was so influenced by him so early on that sometimes it's hard to tell which ideas are mine and which are his, just sort of elaborated in different words in a different way, but at root, his ideas. I think he was the key link in the 20th century between the streams of idealism, German idealism in the 19th and 18th century, and the renaissance of idealism in the 21st. Jung held the candle alive during the darkness of positivism and behaviorism and all that stuff.
What sort of religious upbringing did your father give you?
Oh, we were Swiss Reformed.
And did he make you attend church regularly?
Oh, well, that was quite natural.
Yes.
Everybody went to church on Sunday.
And did you believe in God?
Oh, yes.
Do you now believe in God?
Now, difficult to answer. I know. I don't need to believe. I know.
Hello, this is Eddie Paredes, the headmaster of the Platonic Mystery School of the Divine Infinite Being. And we welcome you here to the creative work that we have done on the Carl Jung debates. Many modern scholars have argued for the Jungian position in opposition to secular atheism, such as the very famous Jordan Peterson. Although Jung died June 6, 1961, and has the disadvantage of 7 decades of continuing scientific development, we wanted to resurrect his position on the value of religion and belief in God. In our opinion, the modern debate forum, arguing mostly with biblical religious dogma as a background, misses a profound position that Jung championed throughout his career. These debates were created from a neutral position, giving equal credence to both sides of the argument. They were generated by agnostic rules in ChatGPT-4 and include both creative scripts and actual statements from each of the debaters' written work. These do not reflect actual historical debates, but are overall a creative work, giving the audience the opportunity to consider both sides in their own journeys towards truth. For implications of Jung's theories in the light of a modern frame, especially concerning the work started with his colleague and Nobel Prize-winning quantum physicist Wolfgang Pauli, current ideas in string theory, perennial philosophy, and religious studies, please consider reviewing our central doctrine at www.divineinfinitebeing.com. And now, without further ado, let's begin the debate forum with Carl Jung debating on the existence and relevance of God with modern secular atheism.
Hey, psychology enthusiasts and curious minds alike. I'm about to take you on a wild ride through time and space where the impossible becomes possible. Imagine it's a dark, moonlit night. The streets are deserted and there's a slight chill in the air that sends shivers down your spine. Suddenly 3 figures in dark robes appear. They are necromancers, and tonight they're on a mission. It's time, says one, as they slide into a car parked under a thickened street lamp. The car starts, and they drive off into the night. The road ahead shrouded in mist. Cut to a misty cemetery where our necromancers stop. They walk through creaking gates, their footsteps echoing in the silence. They're here to awaken none other than Carl Jung, the father of analytical psychology. They set up candles, forming a circle around Jung's grave. The air thickens, the ground trembles, mystical symbols glow, and then, arise, Carl Jung. The ground cracks open and Carl Jung rises, bewildered but alive. They return to the car, driving into the night, the city lights drawing closer. Now picture this, Carl Jung, dressed in modern clothes, walking into a bustling auditorium. The crowd is buzzing with anticipation. Tonight he will debate a contemporary atheist. The stage is set, the audience is seated, and the air is thick with tension. Let's begin, Jung says into the microphone, and the debate of the century kicks off.
Welcome, everyone, to this debate on the fundamental question of the existence of God. Today we are joined by two distinguished thinkers. Dr. Carl Jung, renowned psychologist and founder of analytical psychology, and Matt Dillahunty, a prominent atheist and host of the Atheist Experience. I am Jordan Peterson, and I will be moderating today's discussion. As I have often said, it is not that we lack insight, but rather that we are afraid of it. With that, let's dive into this profound and contentious topic.
The existence of God is a question that transcends mere intellectual inquiry. It touches the very core of our being and our understanding of the universe. From a psychological perspective, the concept of God is deeply embedded in the human psyche. As I have observed, man cannot stand a meaningless life. The archetype of God provides a framework for meaning, serving as a symbol of the highest aspirations of the human spirit.
While I respect Dr. Jung's psychological insights, the question of God's existence requires more than symbolic interpretations. It demands evidence. My position is grounded in skepticism and empirical inquiry. As I have argued, if your justification for your belief is that it's just a faith-based proposition, then you've admitted it's not rational. We need to critically examine the evidence, or lack thereof, for the existence of a deity.
Both of you have laid out compelling starting points. Dr. Jung, you mentioned the archetypal significance of God. How do you reconcile this with the need for empirical evidence that Matt emphasizes?
The archetypal image of God in the human psyche is not merely a product of cultural conditioning, but reflects a deeper, universal pattern of the collective unconscious. This does not necessarily equate to empirical evidence in the scientific sense, but points to an inner reality that shapes human experience. As I have stated, the decisive question for man is he related to something infinite or not? That is the telling question of his life. This relationship with the infinite, or the divine, is a psychological necessity for many individuals.
While the psychological need for meaning and the archetype of God may be significant, they do not serve as evidence for the actual existence of a deity. The burden of proof lies with those making the claim. As I have often said, you can't appeal to the supernatural to solve a mystery. We must rely on verifiable evidence and reason when addressing such claims.
This reminds me of my own exploration of belief and evidence. I once wrote, "To have meaning in your life is better than to have what you want, because you may neither know what you want nor what is truly good for you." Dr. Jung, how do you view the relationship between faith and empirical evidence?
Faith and empirical evidence occupy different domains of human experience. Faith addresses the existential and spiritual dimensions, providing a sense of purpose and connection to something greater than oneself. As I have noted, faith is a real power, and when it is strong, it manifests itself in a vivid manner. Empirical evidence, on the other hand, is crucial for understanding the material world. Both are necessary for a holistic understanding of human existence.
While I acknowledge the psychological role of faith, it's important to distinguish between personal belief and objective reality. Faith without evidence can lead to harmful delusions and irrational decisions. My position is that we should base our beliefs on the best available evidence and reasoning. As I have stated, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. The claim of God's existence is extraordinary and thus requires compelling evidence.
Let's delve deeper into the implications of these perspectives on morality and meaning. Dr. Jung, how does the belief in God shape our moral frameworks?
The belief in God often provides a foundation for ethical principles and moral behavior. It serves as a source of guidance and inspiration for many individuals. As I have written, the inner voice is the voice of a fuller life, of a wider, more comprehensive consciousness. This inner voice, often associated with the divine, can lead to profound moral insights and actions.
Morality can and does exist independently of belief in a deity. Ethical principles can be derived from secular humanism, empathy, and rational consideration of the consequences of our actions. As I have argued, we should be good because it makes the world a better place for us and everyone else. Morality based on reason and empathy does not require the existence of God.
The interplay between belief and morality is indeed complex. In my book, I wrote, "It is not that the Bible is true, it is that the Bible is the precondition for the manifestation of truth." Dr. Jung, you mentioned the inner voice as a guide. How do you address the potential for subjective interpretation of this inner voice?
The inner voice, or the experience of the divine, is indeed subjective, but it can be informed by a broader cultural and archetypal context. This does not negate its value, but rather emphasizes the need for personal reflection and integration. As I have stated, one does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. This process of individuation helps individuals discern and integrate their moral and spiritual experiences.
Subjective experiences can be powerful, but they are not reliable indicators of objective truth. Personal reflection and integration are important, but they should be coupled with critical thinking and empirical validation. As I have argued, we should be skeptical of our beliefs and constantly seek to test and verify them. This approach helps prevent the pitfalls of subjective interpretation leading to false beliefs.
Let's now delve deeper into the implications of these perspectives on human experience and society. Dr. Jung, in your work, you've often highlighted the symbolic and transformative power of religious experiences. Can you elaborate on how these experiences shape individual and collective consciousness?
Religious experiences often serve as catalysts for profound psychological transformation, providing a sense of unity and wholeness. These experiences can facilitate what I term individuation, the process of integrating the conscious aspects of the self. As I have observed, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. Through this process, individuals often encounter archetypal images and symbols that guide them toward greater self-awareness and spiritual fulfillment.
While I appreciate the transformative power of personal experiences, it's important to separate psychological phenomena from objective reality. Religious experiences, though meaningful, do not necessarily point to the existence of an actual deity. They can be explained through natural psychological processes. As I have stated, the brain is capable of producing powerful experiences, but we must critically evaluate their origins. The transformative power of these experiences does not validate the existence of God.
This reminds me of a point I made in Maps of Meaning where I wrote, "To have a meaningful life is to have a life that is guided by the highest of goals." Dr. Jung, how do you respond to the critique that religious experiences, while psychologically profound, do not provide empirical evidence for the existence of God?
Religious experiences are indeed subjective and personal, but they often resonate with universal archetypes that point to a deeper, shared reality. These archetypes, such as the image of God, emerge from the collective unconscious and shape human culture and behavior. As I have noted, the symbols of the self arise in the depths of the body. While they may not constitute empirical evidence in the scientific sense, they reflect fundamental aspects of human nature and existence.
It's crucial to distinguish between the subjective impact of these experiences and their objective validity. The fact that many people have similar experiences can be explained by common psychological and cultural factors. The universality of these experiences does not prove the existence of a deity. As I have emphasized, we should be cautious about attributing external reality to internal experiences. The search for truth requires us to rely on verifiable evidence rather than personal or collective experiences.
The interplay between subjective experiences and objective evidence is indeed complex. In 12 Rules for Life, I wrote, "Pursue what is meaningful, not what is expedient." Dr. Jung, how do you see the role of religious and spiritual practices in providing a sense of meaning and purpose in life?
Religious and spiritual practices often serve as rituals that connect individuals to a larger, transcendent reality, offering a sense of meaning and purpose. These practices can facilitate encounters with the numinous, the experience of the sacred divine. As I have emphasized, the experience of the numinous is beyond the capacity of reason to understand. Such experiences can profoundly impact one's sense of identity and purpose, contributing to psychological and spiritual well-being.
While spiritual practices can provide a sense of meaning and community, they are not the only sources of these experiences. Secular approaches to meaning, such as humanism, also offer robust frameworks for living a fulfilling and ethical life. As I have argued, we can find meaning through our relationships, our contributions to society, and our pursuit of knowledge. These sources of meaning do not rely on belief in a deity and are grounded in our shared humanity.
The search for meaning is indeed a fundamental aspect of the human experience. In my work, I have often discussed the importance of narratives and myths in shaping our understanding of the world. Dr. Jung, how do you view the role of myth and narrative in relation to the concept of God?
Myths and narratives are essential tools for conveying complex psychological and spiritual truths. They encapsulate archetypal themes that resonate with the human psyche, offering insights into the nature of existence and the divine. As I have written, the archetype is a tendency to form such representations of a motif. Representations that can vary a great deal in detail without losing their basic pattern. These patterns provide a framework for understanding our experiences and our place in the universe.
While myths and narratives are powerful tools for conveying meaning, they should not be conflated with empirical truth. Stories can inspire and guide us, but they are not evidence for the existence of supernatural entities. As I have argued, we must differentiate between the symbolic truth of myths and the factual truth of empirical evidence. Understanding this distinction is crucial for a rational and evidence-based approach to knowledge.
This brings us to the role of reason and faith in our understanding of the world. In Maps of Meaning, I explored how belief systems shape our perceptions and actions. Dr. Jung, how do you reconcile the role of reason with the necessity of faith in addressing the question of God's existence?
Reason and faith are not mutually exclusive, but rather complementary aspects of human cognition. Reason allows us to navigate the material world and understand its workings, while faith addresses the existential and spiritual dimensions of life. As I have noted, the pendulum of the mind oscillates between sense and nonsense, not between right and wrong. Both reason and faith are necessary for a comprehensive understanding of human experience.
While reason and faith can coexist, they serve different purposes. Faith, by definition, is belief without evidence, which can lead to false conclusions. Reason, on the other hand, is grounded in evidence and critical thinking. As I have often said, we should prioritize reason and evidence in our quest for knowledge. This approach helps us build a more accurate and reliable understanding of the world.
Let's explore how these perspectives impact our approach to ethics and morality. Dr. Jung, how does the belief in God influence ethical behavior and moral decision-making?
The belief in God often provides a moral framework that guides ethical behavior and decision-making. It serves as a source of moral authority and inspiration, encouraging individuals to aspire to higher ideals. As I have observed, a belief in a supernatural source of evil is not necessary. Men alone are quite capable of every wickedness. The belief in God can help individuals align their actions with their highest values and aspirations.
Ethical behavior and moral decision-making do not require belief in a deity. Secular ethics, based on reason, empathy, and the consideration of consequences, provide a robust framework for morality. As I have stated, we should be good for goodness sake, not because of divine command. A secular approach to ethics allows for moral progress and adaptation based on our evolving understanding of human well-being.
Let's now move on to another important topic, the debate over miracles and fine-tuning and their role as evidence for the existence of a creator. As I mentioned in Maps of Meaning, you must determine where you are going so that you can bargain for yourself, so that you don't end up resentful, vengeful, and cruel. Dr. Jung, how do you view miracles and the concept of fine-tuning in the context of your work and beliefs?
Miracles and the idea of fine-tuning often represent symbolic manifestations of the deeper, underlying order of the cosmos. In my work, I have explored how synchronicity, or meaningful coincidences, reveal the interconnectedness of the psyche and the external world. As I have noted, synchronicity is an ever-present reality for those who have eyes to see. These phenomena suggest that there might be a purposeful, intelligent design behind the apparent randomness of the universe.
Miracles and fine-tuning are frequently cited as evidence for a creator, but we must scrutinize these claims critically. Miracles, often defined as violations of natural laws, lack verifiable evidence and can be explained through natural processes or human error. As I have argued, it's not that I am certain that there are no gods, it's that I am not convinced there are any. Fine-tuning, on the other hand, can be understood through the anthropic principle, which states that we observe the universe to be fine-tuned because we exist in it.
The concept of fine-tuning indeed raises intriguing questions about the nature of the universe. In Maps of Meaning I wrote, the world can be validly construed as a forum for action, as well as a place of things. Dr. Jung, how do you interpret the apparent fine-tuning of the universe in relation to the idea of a creator?
The apparent fine-tuning of the universe can be seen as indicative of an underlying archetypal order. This order is reflected in the collective unconscious and the recurring patterns and symbols that shape human experience. As I have stated, in all chaos there is a cosmos, in all disorder a secret order. The fine-tuning might suggest that the universe is not a random accident, but rather a manifestation of a deeper, purposeful reality.
It's essential to distinguish between the appearance of design and actual design. The fine-tuning argument often overlooks the possibility of multiple universes or natural mechanisms that could explain the conditions necessary for life. As I have argued, just because something appears designed doesn't mean it is. We must seek natural explanations and remain skeptical of attributing unknown phenomena to supernatural causes.
The tension between natural and supernatural explanations is a recurring theme in these debates. In 12 Rules for Life, I discuss the importance of facing the unknown, stating, confront the chaos of being. Take aim against a sea of troubles. Specify your damn aims and fight against those causes of suffering and pain. Dr. Jung, how do you address the challenge of distinguishing between meaningful coincidences and supernatural interventions?
Distinguishing between meaningful coincidences and supernatural interventions requires an understanding of the symbolic and psychological significance of these events. Synchronicity, for instance, does not imply a direct supernatural intervention, but rather a manifestation of the interconnectedness of the psyche and the world. As I have written, we can predict the future when we know how the present moment evolved from the past. These phenomena invite us to explore the deeper dimensions of reality and our place within it.
While synchronicity and meaningful coincidences can be psychologically significant, they do not provide evidence for supernatural interventions. They can often be explained by cognitive biases such as pattern recognition and confirmation bias. As I have argued, our brains are wired to find patterns even when there are none. It's crucial to approach such experiences with a critical and skeptical mindset to avoid erroneous conclusions.
Let's consider the role of miracles in religious belief systems. Miracles are often seen as direct evidence of divine intervention. In Beyond Order, I noted, we are blind to our blindness. We only see what we aim at. The rest of the world is hidden. Dr. Jung, how do you view the psychological and symbolic importance of miracles in religious narratives?
Miracles in religious narratives serve as powerful symbols that convey deeper truths about the human experience and the divine. They often represent moments of profound transformation and revelation, illustrating the possibility of transcendence and the intervention of a higher power. As I have observed, the miraculous is not opposed to nature, but only to what we know about nature. These narratives provide a framework for understanding the mysteries of existence and the potential for spiritual growth.
The psychological and symbolic importance of miracles in religious narratives does not equate to their factual occurrence. Many reported miracles can be attributed to natural causes, misunderstandings, or deliberate fabrications. As I have argued, we must apply the same standards of evidence to miracles as we do to any other claim. Without robust evidence, we should remain skeptical of miraculous claims.
The interplay between skepticism and belief is indeed a delicate balance. In Maps of Meaning, I explored how belief systems shape our interpretation of reality, writing, a shared belief system, partly psychological, partly acted out, simplifies everyone in their own eyes and in the eyes of others. Dr. Jung, how does the belief in miracles and fine-tuning influence individual and collective worldviews?
Belief in miracles and fine-tuning shapes individual and collective worldviews by providing a sense of purpose, meaning, and connection to a transcendent reality. These beliefs can foster a sense of awe and reverence for the mysteries of existence, encouraging individuals to seek deeper understanding and spiritual fulfillment. As I have stated, the sole purpose of human existence is to kindle a light in the darkness of mere being. These beliefs can inspire individuals to explore the depths of their psyche and the cosmos.
While beliefs in miracles and fine-tuning can provide meaning for some, they can also lead to misconceptions and hinder our pursuit of empirical knowledge. As I have argued, our goal should be to understand the world as it is, not as we wish it to be. By prioritizing reason and evidence, we can build a more accurate and reliable understanding of reality, free from the constraints of unfounded beliefs.
The exploration of miracles and fine-tuning brings us to the core of our inquiry into the existence of God. Dr. Jung, how do you see the relationship between the psychological need for meaning and the belief in miracles and fine-tuning as evidence for a creator?
The psychological need for meaning is deeply intertwined with the belief in miracles and fine-tuning. These beliefs can help individuals make sense of their experiences in the cosmos. As I wrote in The Undiscovered Self, man cannot stand a meaningless life. The symbolism in miracles and fine-tuning suggests that life is not random but imbued with purpose by a higher power.
While the need for meaning is powerful, it doesn't justify accepting miracles or fine-tuning without scrutiny. As I have emphasized, belief is not a virtue. Believing something without sufficient evidence is a mistake. Psychological needs can lead us to see patterns where none exist. We must distinguish between our desires and the objective evidence available.
The interplay between our psychological needs and our interpretation of reality is profound. In 12 Rules for Life, I mentioned, if you want to occupy the pinnacle of society, you need to be both capable of great things and willing to undertake great responsibility. Dr. Jung, how do you believe the acceptance of miracles and fine-tuning impacts the individual's responsibility to seek truth?
Accepting miracles and fine-tuning can enhance one's quest for truth by exploring the mysteries of existence and engaging with the symbolic. As I've articulated, the meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. This journey involves embracing the unknown and fulfilling the responsibility to seek a comprehensive understanding of truth.
While engaging with the symbolic can enrich our experience, it is crucial to ground our beliefs in empirical evidence. As I have stated, we should strive to believe as many true things and as few false things as possible. Accepting miracles and fine-tuning without sufficient evidence can lead us away from truth. Our responsibility is to critically evaluate all claims and seek truth through reason and evidence.
The balance between faith and reason is a central theme in our exploration of existence. In Maps of Meaning, I wrote, to have meaning in your life is better than to have what you want, because you may neither know what you want nor what you truly need. Dr. Jung, how do you reconcile the tension between the symbolic meanings found in miracles and the need for empirical validation?
The tension between symbolic meaning and empirical validation is key to human experience. Symbolic meanings in miracles provide a framework for understanding deeper dimensions of life and connect us to the collective unconscious. As I've articulated, science has destroyed even the refuge of the inner life. What was once a sheltering haven has become a place of terror.
It's essential to appreciate the symbolic while committing to empirical truth. As I have argued, we live in a world where facts matter and beliefs should be proportional to the evidence supporting them. Holding our beliefs to rigorous standards of evidence ensures our understanding of reality remains accurate while still finding personal and psychological meaning.
The dialogue between the symbolic and the empirical is crucial for a holistic understanding of existence. Dr. Jung, Mr. Dillahunty, your perspectives on miracles and fine-tuning have added valuable depth to our exploration of whether a creator exists. Our next topic addresses a critical question. Can morality exist without a divine source? Dr. Jung, how do you perceive the origins of moral values, and is a divine source necessary for them?
Morality often arises from the collective unconscious, shaped by archetypal patterns that transcend individual experiences. While a divine source can provide a foundation for moral values, it is not strictly necessary. As I have noted, the ethical problem is a fundamental religious problem. You cannot separate religious and ethical issues. Morality can emerge from within, influenced by both cultural and psychological factors.
Morality does not require a divine source. It evolves through human empathy, societal norms, and rational inquiry. As I have argued, good moral reasoning doesn't need a God. It needs a commitment to well-being and evidence-based thinking.
The interplay between cultural and psychological influences on morality is complex. In Maps of Meaning I wrote, "To tell the truth is to bring the most habitable reality into being. Truth builds edifices that can stand 1,000 years." Dr. Jung, how do you see the role of truth in developing moral values independent of a divine authority?
Truth plays a central role in the development of moral values, whether or not they are seen as divinely inspired. Our understanding of truth shapes our ethical principles and guides our behavior. As I have stated, knowing your own darkness is the best method for dealing with the darknesses of other people. By seeking truth, we align our moral compass with deeper psychological realities and foster authentic ethical behavior.
Indeed, seeking truth is fundamental to moral reasoning. As I have argued, it is better to want to believe true things and to actually believe true things. By grounding our morals in evidence and rational thought, we can create ethical systems that are consistent, fair, and adaptable to new information and circumstances.
The search for truth and its impact on morality highlights the importance of both individual and collective understanding. In 12 Rules for Life I wrote, "It is necessary to be strong in the face of adversity and to seek out what is meaningful." Mr. Dillahunty, how do you believe secular moral systems address the need for meaning and purpose in ethical living?
Secular moral systems provide meaning and purpose through a focus on human well-being and flourishing. As I have argued, morality is about minimizing harm and maximizing well-being for ourselves and others. By emphasizing compassion, empathy, and rationality, secular ethics offer a robust framework for living a meaningful and purposeful life without relying on divine mandates.
Secular moral systems can indeed offer a meaningful framework for ethical living. However, the integration of spiritual elements can enrich this framework by addressing deeper existential questions and connecting individuals to a larger narrative. As I have noted, as far as we can discern, the sole purpose of human existence is to kindle a light in the darkness of mere being. This connection can provide additional layers of meaning and purpose to our ethical pursuits.
The discussion of morality without a divine source underscores the complex interplay between rational inquiry, empathy, and existential considerations. As we delve deeper into the question of morality without a divine source, let's consider how these perspectives shape our approach to ethical dilemmas and societal cohesion. Dr. Jung, how do you believe moral values that emerge from the collective unconscious influence societal ethics?
Moral values from the collective unconscious profoundly impact societal ethics. These values, influenced by archetypal patterns, guide individuals and communities in navigating ethical dilemmas. As I have stated, the collective unconscious contains the whole spiritual heritage of mankind's evolution, born anew in the brain structure of every individual. This heritage provides a shared foundation that can foster social harmony and ethical behavior.
While shared heritage and archetypes play a role, secular ethics prioritize rational inquiry and empathy. As I have argued, morality is about figuring out how to live well together and solve our problems without invoking supernatural explanations. By focusing on evidence and reason, we can address ethical dilemmas in ways that are inclusive and adaptable to diverse perspectives.
The emphasis on rational inquiry and empathy in secular ethics highlights the importance of inclusivity. In 12 Rules for Life, I wrote, "Stand up straight with your shoulders back." This speaks to the necessity of facing ethical challenges with confidence and integrity. Dr. Jung, how do you see the role of individual integrity in the context of societal ethics?
Individual integrity is crucial for societal ethics. It involves aligning one's actions with inner moral convictions, which can inspire others and promote collective well-being. As I have stated, your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakes. By pursuing personal authenticity, individuals contribute to a more ethical and cohesive society.
Individual integrity also plays a key role in secular ethics. As I have argued, we must hold ourselves accountable to higher standards and strive to be better without waiting for divine intervention. Personal responsibility and ethical consistency are essential for building trust and cooperation within society.
The convergence of personal authenticity and responsibility underscores the significance of individual contributions to societal ethics. In Maps of Meaning, I wrote, "We require routine and tradition." That's order. This order, rooted in shared values and personal integrity, supports social stability. Dr. Jung, how do you believe societal traditions influence the development of moral values?
Societal traditions play a vital role in shaping moral values, providing a framework within which individuals navigate ethical questions. As I have noted, tradition is not the worship of ashes, but the preservation of fire. These traditions, when integrated with personal insights, foster a dynamic interplay between individual and collective ethics, guiding societies through complex moral landscapes.
Traditions can offer valuable insights, but they must be critically examined to ensure they align with contemporary ethical standards. As I have argued, we must question traditions and beliefs, ensuring they promote well-being and justice. By challenging outdated norms, we can evolve our moral frameworks to better address modern ethical challenges.
The critical examination of traditions and their alignment with contemporary ethics is essential for societal progress. In 12 Rules for Life, I emphasized, compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to who someone else is today. This focus on continuous improvement applies to both individuals and societies. Dr. Jung, Mr. Dillahunty, how do you see the potential for moral evolution in response to changing societal needs?
Moral evolution is a natural response to changing societal needs, driven by the interplay between individual and collective consciousness. As I have stated, life calls not for perfection but for completeness. This pursuit of completeness involves adapting moral values to new contexts while preserving core ethical principles that promote human flourishing.
Moral evolution is essential for addressing new challenges and injustices. As I have argued, we must be willing to revise our moral beliefs in light of new evidence and better arguments. This adaptability ensures that our ethical systems remain relevant and effective in promoting well-being and justice in an ever-changing world.
The dynamic nature of moral evolution highlights the ongoing dialogue between tradition and innovation. Dr. Jung, Mr. Dillahunty, your perspectives have enriched our understanding of how morality can exist and evolve without a divine source. As we continue this exploration, let's delve into the relationship between immortal souls and consciousness. If human souls are immortal, do they influence or originate consciousness through physical or supernatural mechanisms? Dr. Jung, could you share your thoughts on this profound question?
The concept of an immortal soul influencing consciousness is deeply rooted in many religious and philosophical traditions. From a psychological perspective, the idea of the soul represents a vital aspect of human existence, often linked to the unconscious. As I have noted, the soul is the archetype of life. It is the carrier of life and at the same time its goal.
The notion of immortal souls influencing consciousness is intriguing but lacks empirical support. Consciousness arises from brain processes, and there is no evidence suggesting a supernatural component. As I have argued, our brains are the source of our thoughts, feelings, and consciousness. There's no need to invoke a soul to explain these phenomena. The idea of an immortal soul remains speculative without scientific evidence.
The debate on the origins of consciousness touches on both the physical and metaphysical realms. In Maps of Meaning, I wrote, "We must pay attention. It is only in that manner that we can forget the past, redeem the present, and transform the future." Dr. Jung, how do you see the interplay between physical brain functions and the concept of the soul in shaping human consciousness?
The interplay between brain functions and the soul is complex. While the brain facilitates consciousness, the soul provides a deeper, often symbolic, understanding of our experiences. As I have stated, the soul to me is a personification of those thoughts that are always present and yet beyond the grasp of our consciousness. This duality suggests that while brain processes are essential, the soul offers a profound dimension to our consciousness.
While the soul might offer a symbolic dimension, we must base our understanding of consciousness on evidence. As I often said, our knowledge of consciousness is grounded in neurobiology and cognitive science, not metaphysical speculation.
The exploration of consciousness and the soul raises questions about the nature of human experience. In 12 Rules for Life, I wrote, "You can only find out what you actually believe rather than what you think you believe by watching how you act." Mr. Dillahunty, how do you address the existential questions that arise when considering consciousness purely from a materialistic standpoint?
Existential questions can be addressed through humanism, rational inquiry, and personal reflection. As I have emphasized, we find meaning and purpose in our relationships, achievements, and the pursuit of knowledge. Understanding consciousness as a product of brain activity does not diminish its significance. It grounds our experiences in reality.
Existential questions are integral to our understanding of consciousness. The soul, as a symbol, helps us navigate these questions by connecting us to a deeper sense of meaning. As I've articulated, the larger the contrast, the greater the potential. Great energy only comes from a correspondingly great tension of opposites. This tension between the physical and metaphysical enriches our exploration of consciousness.
The relationship between immortal souls and consciousness highlights the ongoing dialogue between physical science and metaphysical exploration. Dr. Jung, you mentioned the inward journey and its ethical implications. How do you see this inward journey reconciling with Mr. Dillahunty's emphasis on reason and empathy in forming ethical frameworks?
The exploration of consciousness inevitably leads to questions about the ethical implications of our understanding. If we consider the soul as an integral part of consciousness, this can influence our moral and ethical beliefs. As I have stated, man needs difficulties. They are necessary for health. This inward journey can guide us in developing a deeper sense of ethical responsibility and personal integrity.
While introspection and self-awareness are valuable, our ethical framework should be based on reason and empathy, not on the existence of an immortal soul. As I have argued, we derive our morals from a combination of empathy, social contracts, and rational consideration of the consequences of our actions. A secular approach to ethics allows for a more inclusive and adaptable moral system.
The way we frame our understanding of consciousness and the soul profoundly impacts our approach to ethics. In 12 Rules for Life, I wrote, "Set your house in perfect order before you criticize the world." Dr. Jung, how do you see the role of the soul in shaping an individual's ethical behavior and personal development?
The soul plays a crucial role in personal development by helping individuals confront and integrate the shadow aspects of their psyche. As I have noted, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. This process of self-discovery and integration fosters ethical behavior by promoting self-awareness and authenticity.
Self-awareness and ethical behavior can also be achieved through rational reflection and understanding of our social environment. As I have argued, our actions should be guided by a commitment to human well-being rather than metaphysical beliefs. A focus on real-world consequences and human relationships provides a solid foundation for ethical conduct.
The debate between metaphysical and empirical approaches to ethics is a rich and complex one. In Maps of Meaning, I noted, you must determine where you are going in your life because you cannot get there unless you move in that direction. This brings us to consider the practical implications of our beliefs on our daily lives. Dr. Jung, how do you think the concept of the soul influences practical decision-making and life choices?
The concept of the soul influences decision-making by encouraging individuals to seek meaning and purpose beyond the material aspects of life. As I have stated, the shoe that fits one person pinches another. There is no recipe for living that suits all cases. This pursuit of self-actualization can guide individuals toward choices that align with their deeper values and aspirations.
Practical decision making should be grounded in evidence, reason, and an understanding of the real-world consequences of our actions. As I have emphasized, we should base our choices on the best available evidence and a rational consideration of the outcomes. This approach ensures that our decisions are effective and beneficial for ourselves and others.
Both of your insights provide valuable perspectives on the interplay between our beliefs and our actions. As we move forward, let's explore the question of whether immortal souls influence or originate consciousness through physical or supernatural mechanisms delves into profound aspects of human existence. Dr. Jung, Mr. Dillahunty, your perspectives on this topic?
Exploring the relationship between immortal souls and consciousness invites us to consider the deeper layers of the psyche and their influence on our awareness. From a psychological perspective, the soul encompasses both conscious and unconscious elements, suggesting that consciousness emerges from a complex interplay of personal experiences and archetypal patterns. As I have noted, the unconscious is not just evil by nature, it is also the source of the highest good.
While the concept of an immortal soul has been central to many religious and philosophical traditions, empirical evidence suggests that consciousness arises from neural processes within the brain. As I have argued, we must base our understanding on observable phenomena and scientific inquiry rather than metaphysical speculations. The idea of an immortal soul influencing consciousness lacks empirical support and can lead to unfounded beliefs.
The exploration of whether immortal souls influence consciousness raises fundamental questions about the nature of human identity and the continuity of self. In Maps of Meaning, I discuss how archetypal narratives shape our understanding of reality and ourselves. Dr. Jung, how do you see the concept of an immortal soul contributing to our sense of identity and personal development?
The concept of an immortal soul can provide individuals with a sense of continuity and purpose beyond their immediate experiences. It offers a framework for understanding life as part of a larger spiritual journey. As I have noted, the soul speaks in symbols. Symbolic representations, such as the soul, help individuals navigate existential questions and find meaning in their lives.
While symbolic representations like the soul can offer comfort and meaning, they should not be conflated with empirical realities. As I often said, we should prioritize evidence-based reasoning and scientific inquiry when exploring questions of consciousness and identity.
The debate over whether immortal souls influence consciousness touches on the broader implications for morality and ethics. In 12 Rules for Life, I explore how belief in higher ideals can shape moral behavior and personal responsibility. Dr. Jung, how do you think the concept of an immortal soul influences ethical decision-making and societal values?
The concept of an immortal soul can underpin ethical decision-making by emphasizing the importance of integrity, compassion, and personal growth. It encourages individuals to strive for moral excellence and take responsibility for their actions. As I have articulated, the soul is revealed through relationship. Our understanding of the soul influences how we relate to ourselves and others, guiding ethical behavior and fostering a sense of interconnectedness.
Ethical decision-making should be grounded in rational reflection and an understanding of the consequences of our actions. As I have argued, we derive our moral principles from empathy, reason, and social contracts rather than metaphysical beliefs. A secular approach to ethics promotes fairness, justice, and respect for human dignity without relying on supernatural entities like immortal souls.
The question of whether immortal souls influence or originate consciousness through physical or supernatural mechanisms is deeply intertwined with how we perceive human identity and our place in the cosmos. Dr. Jung, Mr. Dillahunty, your insights into this topic are crucial for unraveling the mysteries of consciousness and its potential origins.
Exploring the relationship between immortal souls and consciousness invites us to delve into the symbolic and archetypal dimensions of human experience. As I have stated, the soul is the absolute guarantor of psychic continuity. It connects us to broader patterns of meaning and purpose, shaping our understanding of self and the universe.
The idea of an immortal soul influencing consciousness stems from religious and philosophical traditions, yet scientific inquiry suggests consciousness arises from neural processes. As I have argued, beliefs in supernatural entities like immortal souls lack empirical evidence and can hinder our understanding of human consciousness. We should prioritize evidence-based reasoning when exploring questions of identity and consciousness.
The exploration of whether immortal souls influence consciousness is crucial for understanding the deeper layers of human experience and behavior. In Maps of Meaning, I discuss how archetypal narratives and symbols shape our understanding of reality and self. Dr. Jung, how do you view the role of archetypal symbols in shaping beliefs about immortal souls and their influence on consciousness?
Archetypal symbols, such as the soul, provide individuals with a framework for understanding their inner world and the mysteries of existence. As I have noted, symbols are the language of the soul. They bridge the gap between conscious awareness and the unconscious depths, offering a symbolic language through which we explore spiritual and existential questions.
While symbols and narratives play a role in human cognition and cultural practices, attributing consciousness to immortal souls lacks empirical support. As I have emphasized, we must distinguish between symbolic representations and empirical realities when discussing consciousness and identity. Scientific inquiry into brain functions offers a more grounded approach to understanding consciousness.
The debate over whether immortal souls influence consciousness intersects with broader questions about morality and ethical behavior. In 12 Rules for Life, I explore how belief in higher ideals can shape moral conduct and personal responsibility. Dr. Jung, how do you see the concept of an immortal soul influencing ethical decision-making and societal values?
The concept of an immortal soul provides a moral compass rooted in the idea of personal integrity and spiritual growth. As I have explored, ethical behavior emerges from a deeper understanding of the soul's journey and its interconnectedness with others. It encourages individuals to strive for ethical excellence and take responsibility for their actions, fostering a sense of unity and purpose in society.
Ethical decision-making should be guided by reason, empathy, and a commitment to human well-being rather than metaphysical beliefs like immortal souls. As I have argued, secular ethics promotes fairness, justice, and respect for individual autonomy without relying on supernatural entities. It emphasizes the importance of critical thinking and evidence-based approaches to moral dilemmas.
The discussion of whether immortal souls influence consciousness and ethical behavior challenges us to reconcile spiritual beliefs with scientific inquiry. Both of your perspectives illuminate the complexities of these issues and their implications for our understanding of human identity and moral responsibility. Let's continue exploring the question of how religious beliefs shape ethical frameworks is critical in understanding the interplay between spirituality and morality. Dr. Jung, Mr. Dillahunty, how do you perceive the influence of religion on ethical systems?
Religious beliefs have historically provided a foundation for ethical behavior, offering symbolic narratives that guide moral decision-making. As I have stated, religious symbols carry the weight of centuries of human experience and provide a framework for understanding the human condition. These symbols and myths shape our values and ethical norms, fostering a sense of communal responsibility and personal integrity.
While religion has historically influenced ethics, we must recognize that ethical systems can and do exist independently of religious beliefs. As I have argued, ethics should be grounded in reason, empathy, and a commitment to human welfare rather than divine commands. Secular ethics offers a robust framework for moral reasoning that is inclusive and adaptable to diverse perspectives.
The role of religious beliefs in shaping ethical frameworks is multifaceted and profound. In Maps of Meaning, I discuss how religious narratives provide a structure for understanding good and evil, order and chaos. The stories we tell ourselves, especially the religious ones, give us a moral compass and a vision of the world where our actions matter. Dr. Jung, how do you see the interplay between religious symbolism and ethical behavior in the context of psychological development?
Religious symbolism plays a crucial role in psychological development, offering a means of integrating the conscious and unconscious aspects of the psyche. As I have noted, symbols act as mediators between the conscious mind and the deeper layers of the unconscious. This integration fosters ethical behavior by aligning individual actions with a greater sense of purpose and meaning.
Ethical behavior can be understood through the lens of human psychology and social dynamics without invoking religious symbolism. As I have emphasized, moral principles arise from our understanding of human needs, rights, and the consequences of our actions. We can build ethical frameworks that are rational, compassionate, and universally applicable.
The relationship between religion and ethics is pivotal in shaping societies and individual lives. In 12 Rules for Life, I emphasize the importance of values and principles in guiding behavior. Our values, shaped by centuries of religious tradition, provide a framework within which we negotiate the complexities of existence. Dr. Jung, how do you think religious traditions contribute to the development of a coherent ethical system?
Religious traditions contribute to ethical systems by providing a narrative context in which individuals find meaning and direction. As I have stated, the ethical guidelines embedded in religious teachings reflect the accumulated wisdom of human experience. These teachings encourage individuals to aspire to higher moral standards and cultivate virtues that benefit both the individual and the community.
It's essential to critically evaluate religious traditions and their ethical teachings. As I have argued, blind adherence to religious doctrines can lead to moral stagnation and conflict. We should strive for an ethical system that is dynamic, evidence-based, and responsive to the evolving understanding of human well-being.
Insightful perspective from both sides. Now let's delve into the topic of religious experiences and their implications for the existence of God. Are these profound, often transformative experiences evidence of a divine presence? Dr. Jung, what is your frame of reference on this matter?
Religious experiences, particularly those that occur in altered states of consciousness, can be profoundly impactful. As I have articulated, religious experience is absolute. It is indisputable and carries immediate certainty. This is why it needs no proof. These experiences can manifest as encounters with the numinous, or a sense of connection to something greater than oneself, and often catalyze significant psychological and spiritual growth.
While religious experiences can be deeply meaningful, they are not necessarily evidence of the divine. As I often said, the brain is capable of producing powerful experiences that feel real, but this doesn't mean they correspond to an external reality. These experiences can be explained through psychology and neuroscience without invoking supernatural explanations.
The nature of religious experiences and their subjective reality is a fascinating area of discussion. In Maps of Meaning, I argue that religious experiences reveal the underlying structures of the mind and the archetypal narratives that shape our understanding of the world. Dr. Jung, how do you see the role of religious experiences in the context of psychological development?
Religious experiences can play a vital role in psychological development by facilitating individuation, the process of integrating the conscious and unconscious parts of the psyche. As I have stated, such experiences often bring unconscious content into consciousness, fostering a greater sense of wholeness. They can help individuals navigate life's challenges and achieve a deeper understanding of themselves and their place in the universe.
Even though religious experiences can be psychologically beneficial, this does not validate the truth claims of any religion. As I have argued, we must differentiate between the personal significance of an experience and its objective truth. Skepticism and critical thinking are essential in assessing the veracity of these experiences and the claims they support.
The subjective nature of religious experiences doesn't necessarily negate their significance or potential truth. In 12 Rules for Life, I discuss how experiences that connect individuals to transcendent values can have profound effects on their lives and communities. Dr. Jung, in your view, can these experiences be considered valid evidence for the existence of God, or do they serve a different purpose?
I see religious experiences as expressions of the psyche's encounter with archetypal realities rather than direct evidence of a personal deity. As I have noted, they provide insights into the collective unconscious and the universal patterns that underlie human existence. These experiences can offer profound meaning and guidance, regardless of their metaphysical implications.
Ultimately, the interpretation of religious experiences should be grounded in reason and empirical evidence. As I have emphasized, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, and subjective experiences alone are insufficient. While these experiences are significant, they should not be conflated with proof of the supernatural.
As we approach the conclusion of this enlightening and deeply engaging debate, I'd like to take a moment to reflect on the profound nature of the question we've been exploring. Does God exist? This question has been the cornerstone of philosophical, theological, and existential inquiry for millennia, shaping civilizations and individual lives alike. I would now like to ask both of you to share your closing statements on this fundamental question, summarizing your perspectives and insights. Dr. Jung, would you like to start?
The question of God's existence is complex and intertwined with our psychological and spiritual nature. God is an image of the collective unconscious, representing an archetype that encompasses our highest values and deepest fears. Whether God exists externally or as a psychic manifestation, the concept guides human behavior and provides purpose. The divine, in its many forms, connects us to something greater and helps navigate the mysteries of existence.
From my perspective, the question of God's existence remains unresolved due to a lack of empirical evidence. As I have often said, we should proportion our beliefs to the evidence available, and currently the evidence for the existence of a God is insufficient. While religious experiences are meaningful to many, they don't prove the supernatural. Our understanding should be based on reason, critical thinking, and scientific inquiry, not faith in unverified claims.
Thank you both for your insightful contributions. The debate on the existence of God is one of the most profound questions we can ponder. As I've discussed in 12 Rules for Life, belief in God functions as a guiding principle that can help structure our lives and provide a moral framework. Whether God exists as an objective reality or as a powerful metaphor within our psyche, the concept has undeniably shaped human civilization and individual lives. This discussion highlights the importance of exploring these questions with both an open mind and a critical eye. Thank you, Dr. Jung and Mr. Dillahunty, for this engaging and thought-provoking debate.